Recording in progress.
It says 5:30 on mine too.
Oh, nice try though.
All right, we will convene our commission meeting, pre-meeting, I should say. And we have Alan Anderson from the council that's going to be doing most of our training today, actually all of our training today. All commissioners are here with the exception of Commissioner Hatch, and I don't know if she's going to be able to join us via Zoom later or what, so it's all you.
Well, thank you, Commissioners. Glad to be here. Glad to see you again. Several months ago, the city went through the RFP process and awarded a contract for agenda management services to be performed by an organization called PrimeGov. And we're going to go through some of that today. There's a lot of efficiencies for staff. We've also eliminated size limits. I know from the city council, there was a project several months ago, Wood Ranch, that had a 880-page geotech study. You probably may be familiar with that one. That one had to be embedded so that you'd get it off of OneDrive, and it makes it kind of hard to put everything in an easy-to-use place. One of the benefits of PrimeGov is that there is no size limits. So literally the planners, Scott's team, will be able to, and even preparing stuff for city council, they'll be able to just drag and drop any attachments, anything that's supplied into the packet. It's cloud-based, so your computers can access them. Even your phone can access them. It's probably not as phone-friendly since you're dealing with large documents and PDFs and viewing and HTML. But I wanted to go through a little bit of the training and show you some of the features that will benefit you as you serve as commissioners for the city on land use. The website that you would generally use to log in, and I would recommend logging in because it opens up a lot of features for you that the public would not without a login, is westjordan.primegov.com. And you should get a screen similar to what you see on your display. It's the main login. And I'll add that you don't have to log in to view the packets, but features like marking up packets, adding notes, annotating, those type of things you won't be able to do and save those without logging in.
Is it just West Jordan Prime?
westjordan.primegov.com is all you need to type in. Let's see if I can make my browser bigger.
Yeah, I'm wondering if I've got it.
Well, it makes everything bigger but the URL. So if you go there, you do not need to type in your email address or password because we're going to use the city's multi-factor authentication that IT has to keep our system safe. So you'll just go down here to the sign in with Microsoft. Okay, and you'll click that button. Now I've already pre-logged in, so it's just going to go to my screen. What you will probably get is a multi-factor authentication, or it'll take you to PrimeGov itself. You have a Microsoft sign-in screen. Okay, so you want to sign in to that. City email and city password. So it should be your first name dot last name at westjordan.utah.gov.
We're still working on that for weeks.
Okay.
Mine says I don't have permissions to access the site. Please contact your administrator.
There's two IT guys. We'll work on that, but
All right.
okay.
See, my Safari's not letting me do it either, so.
Okay, are you using Safari?
Well, Chrome's still downloading on my.
Okay, Chrome's still downloading. Chrome is preferred, but it should work with Safari. Chrome or Edge, either browser. It does not need a VPN. It doesn't need, it's a cloud-based document management system. So while you're working on that,
That's why.
now my screen will be a little different than your screen. There's different roles within the city. So you have originators, you have members, which is what your role is because members are able to vote. There's also clerks, which is what, and Cindy's here from the council office, who's our clerk that helps us run PrimeGov, and Julie's here, and she was part of the team with PrimeGov. So regardless of what you see on my screen, up here are meetings and committees. So if you're logged into PrimeGov, your name will be over here on the right side, upper right side. And then you'll have meetings and committees right here next to the city logo. If you click on the little up, down caret, you can go to search portal. This is where you'll mainly access your packets is the search portal. So you click on that, and this is also the public portal that the public sees on our website. So if you go to the city council, or the city website and click on agendas and minutes, this is the page that you would see. And this is where you will access the information. So current and upcoming meetings are here, and it shows that we are live. You see the little button there that's live. We have HTML agenda, you have a PDF agenda, and then you have a complete packet. The complete packet includes everything in the agenda and all the attachments for each meeting. Most power is given to you by the HTML agenda, which is the first one there. Historical documents, historical agendas and packets are listed down here in the bottom. And as we go through time, there'll be new tabs that come up for 2023, 2024, 2025. You'll be able to access all of these. If you want to filter it with just Planning Commission, you would click the Planning Commission button. And the history, once this meeting is completed, it will move down to the archive. And then you can still pull up packets, you can still pull up minutes, they're all accessible to you and the public. But for the current meeting, we'll go to the HTML agenda. So you can see it shows the video up above. And we scroll down. And you'll see the boxes highlight when I go over them. You see that? You look for the little paper clip over here on the left-hand side. Just look for it, but you'll notice that the box has a blue border that goes around it, or the approved minutes has a blue border. So if I click on that, I can download the minutes, which is what this does. So you see the little cloud icon with the down arrow, that's going to download it to my computer as a PDF, or I have the ability to just open it with the eye icon. So if I click on the eye icon, it loads it up in another window, and then I can see the minutes. Now, one of the things you can do being logged in, again, it's got my name up here in the upper right, so I'm logged in. Has a feature where you can annotate. I can also redact things. This is for your use. So if I want to annotate, I can go over here and select a highlight. I can pick a color with this little box over here. And I can just say, I want to ask a question about this paragraph right here. So I'll highlight it. And these notes are recorded for you, for your use. It's not seen outside of this element of PrimeGov. So if you were to go back in later and bring up these notes, you could say, oh yeah, I was going to ask a question about this paragraph. The important thing when you annotate is, and unfortunately, I can't see it because it's covered by Julie's Zoom picture, which we can't move. But right underneath that 1 of 5, it's 5 pages. So right up here in this black bar, you see the 1, and you have the, I'm going to call them tape recorder buttons. Remember the old tape recorders, fast forward, rewind. Right underneath there, there's a icon that is a disk, and that's how you save your annotation. Okay? Other options you can do is I can stamp approved, I can stamp reviewed. So if I want to say, oh yeah, I've reviewed these minutes, I'm good with them. And this again, this is your personal note. I can also come down here and say I have a question about this project right here, so I want to highlight it in red. It's very squiggly. But you can see that you've got ways that you can ask questions. You have ways where you can make notes in these projects if there's questions you want to ask. It also has a text box with this little T icon. So I want to come in here, ask Larry about Title 13 and impact on the project, for instance, right? And then when you come to Planning Commission meeting, you can call these up and you can see these notes and say, hey, I was going to ask Larry about this question, or I had a question about this paragraph that I highlighted on the minutes. Does that make sense, how that works? Now you can mark it up. Okay, I'm not going to click the save button on this one. There's also a comments panel, which is just kind of like Word, or I can make notes over there. Trying to think what the next thing I want to go to.
Reset my password. Because it won't let me now log in.
Reset your password
Or my email.
or email.
So then I can go back to the meeting. And I can see with this public hearing that you have for tonight, I highlight the box, so I have the blue outline, the light blue outline, and there's all the packet information. So I have the Planning Commission staff report, I have Exhibit A, B, and C. And all I need to really focus on is that eyeball icon, the eye icon, which will open it up in a new window. So I could look at the aerial, and again, I can make notes on this. And when I'm done looking at the aerial packet, I can close that and be back at my agenda. Exhibit B, zoning and future land use map. So it kind of shows you that. And again, I can annotate, put some text on here. Redwood Road. And I can come down here to the concept plan. So that's the bulk of what you would use. There's other features in this that the staff uses to prepare the packets. There's tasks, there's requests for council action or staff reports for Planning Commission. I don't know if you have any questions as far as accessing it, but it does give you a little more flexibility and an ability to receive the information a little more easier. It's accessible. It'll be more transparent and friendly for the residents and for the public. And it makes it very easy for us to move it from Planning Commission to City Council when your action items come to the council.
Alan, what I like about this for the commissioners especially, they have the responsibility of reviewing a lot of PDF site plans, detailed landscape plans, etc. Here, they'll be able to zoom in and get a lot more clarity than in the past. It's more of a dynamic image instead of just the static screenshot of the past.
Yeah, so
that
thank
should
you.
be helpful.
Yeah, so you've got this scale tool down here at the bottom where you can zoom in. The staff is also able to scan in not just 8.5 by 11, but if a plat map comes in that's, a large print document, it can be scanned in and scaled the exact same way in the packet. It's for us to put the packets together, it literally is drag and drop a document and bring it on over. So it's fairly easy for the staff to add documents and additional material. So I think as time goes on, you'll see additional documentation that gets added to these so that you have all the information that you need for your decision making.
Design review committee be using the same tool?
Yes, everything in the city is going to be using this. Design review, Board of Adjustments, the statutory committees, and the Title II committees. Airport Advisory, Western Stampede. And then you'll be able to, back to this meeting page, you've got everything that you need. And again, the eye icon is, I think, gives you the most flexibility. Downloading it is just going to be a PDF. And with the eye icon, it's HTML, and you can expand it, you can zoom in, you can leave notes. Much more flexible.
After you've downloaded the PDF, how do you bring that PDF back up?
So if I download the PDF like this Planning Commission staff report, mine's gonna say, I think, where I want to save it. So do I want to open it or save it? I'll click open. And then it just opens it as a PDF. And I can zoom in, but I don't have the ability to annotate it as much as I do in PrimeGov. I can use the draw tool and I can highlight items, but it's not saved, unless I save it on my computer, it's not saved within PrimeGov.
Okay, so Trish Hatch is on, and she had her hand raised. I'm not sure if she had a question or just wanted us to know that she's there.
I do have a question. I missed the first part. I know it's PrimeGov is the website. Do we each have a special password, or do we use our password that we're already using?
Would you like me to go back just a touch? Okay, so Ms. Hatch, the website is westjordan.primegov.com. And then you'll use your city credentials to get into the system, which is your city email and city password.
Perfect.
You may need to go through the city's multi-factor authentication, which is a step outside of PrimeGov. If you've used the city email before and your login before, you will have already used that multi-factor authentication.
Okay. That's great. That's what I needed. And I will, when I get back to the States, I'll work on it. Thanks.
Okay, and you're welcome to call Julie or Cindy or I if you have any questions. And then Ms. Hatch, if when you get logged in, it'll have your name in the upper right corner. And how you get to this page, you can either go directly to the city's website and click on the agenda and minutes link. Or
Yeah, I've been on in the beginning. I just missed the very, very first part. So I've got all the rest of it.
Okay,
And just to let the commission, the chair know, I will be leaving at 6 o'clock. So I will not be there for the actual planning commission meeting.
Thank you, Commissioner Hatch.
and we are working, the council office is working with PrimeGov to put our city council packets into the PrimeGov system going back to the change in form of government in January of 2020. And so you'll see, like here, even though these were items, these June 22nd, we have the minutes, but we haven't got the agenda moved over and the packets moved over. But that's a process that's going to take a few months. And PrimeGov will slowly be adding all the prior city council meetings into PrimeGov back to the January 6, 2020 change in form of government.
So when we get like citizen letters, especially at the last minute, Julie could just drop them right into our agendas.
Yep,
And then we could just read them right prior to the meetings.
yep.
She's shaking her head.
She's going, no?
I don't know that we put them out there on the packet. I would probably still just email them to you like I do now,
Okay.
and then you can refer
Well,
to them. But
Right.
But I'm just,
She technically could, but we got to work on the policy.
okay. I'm just, that'd be really good to have it just handy right there. I understand the legalities and all that kind of stuff, but.
If you'll indulge me for like 2 minutes, I'm going to show you a little bit of the back end, just so you can see how things can be put in. So originators, like most of the staff in the city, have these forms. So when we click on forms, we have a request for council action. This is how items get put on the city council. Planning commission staff report, that's how that is created. So if you go to planning, so this would be staff, this wouldn't be you. So we would select a committee, and Mr. Nguyen, this is where you would see that all the agencies or entities that we're going to put into the PrimeGov system are all listed here. So we'll say Community Development Planning Commission, it's the regular meeting, we pick a date, and Ms. Davis has already put in all of the dates through the end of the year. Ignore the Christmas date, that is a test date that we've been using, so there is no meeting on Christmas Day. So if staff is starting to put packets together for you for November 15th, they pick the date and then they're able to put it on the consent calendar, business items, a public hearing with final action, or public hearing with planning commission recommendation to the city council. They put in a subject, they do a summary, and as you can see, they have the text formatting very similar to Word, where they can underline, bullet, quote, hyperlink, a lot of features that way. Staff recommendation, motion recommended, background, conclusion, and then down here with attachments, we can pull it out of Laserfiche, which is our system that we record. That's still being fine-tuned, or we just drag files. So as they scan documents or that 880-page geotech study for Wood Ranch, as long as it's digital, we just drag it over. And you would have access to all of that, mark it up, all of those kind of things. So that's kind of what we see from the back end. And then both for City Council and Planning Commission, there's a workflow. And so that's where these tasks come into play. And so tasks are how we process things through the workflow. So I don't have any workflow tasks for the Planning Commission. As you can see, mine's all City Council. But I can go to all workflow tasks. And again, this is what staff would see. And so Ms. Davis and Mr. Langford and Mr. Gardner could see where things are at. So here's one of those test samples, December 25th. It's currently with the originator, who is Julie. And the Dolphin Industrial Prosperity, that was July 5th. Taylor Jensen, one of the planners, he was the originator, went through. This one's with the review engineer. So you can kind of see that, you can kind of see where these tasks go through, and that's how the agendas are made. City Council is very similar. These are all tasks, so these are things that the council's working on and where they are. This one was initiated by Ms. Steck in the Administrative Services. It's now with the mayor and the CAO for their review. We have several of those. We have a public hearing for Welby West on August 10th. We have, here's some more Christmas ones. So anyway, so this is what the staff sees as we're preparing the agendas. We have an idea of where things are in the process. Staff can load things proactively. So that's a little bit of the back end. So that's what I've got right now, unless you have questions for me. Okay.
I got a bunch of questions, but none of them come right up here right now.
Well, you know how to reach me, so let me know if you have questions. Thank you.
Yeah, we can go ahead and adjourn for 5 minutes.
All right, I'll hop off, guys. Have a good meeting. Thanks.
Thank you. Okay, at 6 o'clock, if you get started again.
That's you.
Oh, sorry. All right, we'll convene the Planning Commission meeting for July 19th, 2022, with all commissioners present with the exception of Commissioner Hatch. We will start with item number 1, consent calendar. Approve the minutes from January 5th. What'd I say?
Yeah, I don't want to go back that far.
Well, it's kind of back to like Christmas time. Okay, July 5th. It starts with a J. All right, do we have Commissioner Allen?
Motion to approve the minutes.
Commissioner Quinney?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, it carries 6-0. Next on the agenda is a public hearing with the Planning Commission recommendations to the City Council for final action. Mountain America redevelopment, 6761 South Redwood Road, future land use map, amendment from professional office to community commercial and rezone, 1.29 acres from a PO, professional office, zone to SC zone, community shopping center zone. And looks like Derek, Liz, is that how you say your name?
That's not me, but I'm here for everybody, yes.
Okay. Come on up to the podium, state your name.
Good afternoon, Commissioners.
Push the right button. Sorry.
Right there?
Yep.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is Matt Nielsen. I manage Utah's Evergreen office, local here in Utah. Derek is in Lake Tahoe today, so he's having a lot of fun. He wishes he could be here, though, I'm sure. So we're under contract to buy 1.29 acres, currently in Mountain America Credit Union. We're partnering with Mountain America. We're redeveloping several of these throughout the state of Utah, Spanish Fork, Holiday here in West Jordan. So we're working on several of them. The key thing for Mountain America Credit Union is they no longer need as many branches as they currently have. Over the last 20 years with online banking advancements, with mobile technology for banking, they really don't need as big of sites and as many sites. So they're either relocating many branches, shutting down some branches, or just trying to find better real estate for several of their branches in Utah, Idaho, really in all the states they're located. Do I control this
Actually,
PDF or does?
Lisa's got the
Perfect.
control over it.
Yeah, next one would be great. As you know, I mean, you're all very familiar with the site. These are several site photos showing the site. There's about 40,000 cars per day that go up and down Redwood Road. So our request to rezone this from professional office to an SC2 zone, as you can see right here, the professional office is in blue, the SC2 zone is in red surrounding the site. So the zoning, the rezone of the property matches the surrounding commercial on Redwood Road. We're requesting a rezone because there's just not as many professional office uses for the area anymore. And so we'd like this SC2 zone to really open up our options of what we can actually do with the site. Our timing with Mountain America is kind of interesting. We can't actually close on the property until they're ready to shut the branch down, which they're anticipating to be about February or March of next year. And so we'll plan to close on it probably early next year, sooner if we can, but that timing would probably be early next year. So when we would actually start the redevelopment of the process. So this just gives an overview of what the current zoning looks like and what the surrounding zoning of Redwood Road looks like. I already stated online banking advancements has really changed the need for bank branches and professional office. Amending the future land map and zoning maps allowed for possible uses that are in line with the rest of the zoning on Redwood Road, and allows for additional uses to better serve the community. Like I said, with traffic counts above 40,000 per day along Redwood, the proposed amendment expands the amount of community commercial in the area to adjust for the changing demographic needs of the area. Our hope is that because the existing required setback and landscape buffer, the proposed zone change will not adversely impact the neighborhood or community at all. We want to be obviously sensitive to that, but instead we'll bring the subject property in line with the rest of the zoning along Redwood Road. And then lastly, the current zoning of professional office does not generate sales tax for West Jordan, so we're hoping with that SC2 zone to bring in uses that do generate sales tax for the city. That's all I had.
Any questions for the applicant? Commissioner Marchant?
So are you planning on demolishing the current structure?
Yes, we'll plan on demoing the current building.
And then in your,
Sorry.
nope, go for it.
We have attempted to remodel existing bank branches in the past at a number of different sites, and it's very, very expensive with the underground bank vaults and trying to bring electrical and trying to bring whatever else we need to. It's pretty difficult to repurpose existing bank branches.
Gotcha. And then your concept plan, it looks like you're proposing a drive-through?
Yeah, so that is just a concept plan. We don't have finalized what tenants or tenant will actually go here yet. Like I said, with our closing being pushed so far into next year, it's actually really hard to nail down which tenants we're going to have at the site because we present the site to tenants and they say, okay, well, when is it available? And we say, well, we can deliver it to you March of next year. And they say, okay, well, let us know when it's closer. We're going to go down the street or wherever else. So we don't have anything finalized yet. There's a number of uses that could go there. This was a concept plan we put together early on that shows a multi-tenant building of about 6,400 square feet. I doubt the building would end up being that big. That is a pretty big multi-tenant building to have on the site. So we don't have anything finalized in terms of what tenants would actually go there yet. We're getting close with several, but we don't know which direction yet.
Do you anticipate about how many stories you would like it?
It'll be a single-story building.
A single
Yes.
story.
Yeah. Yeah.
Any other questions? Commissioner Quinn?
Just a plug, as you're talking to tenants, my neighbors would be really happy if you put in a drink shop there, like a Swig or a Fizz. They keep
pretty
saying
much
that we
put
need
those
one right
anywhere.
there, so this would make them very happy.
Perfect.
Okay, no other questions. Thank you.
Great. Thank you.
It'll be later. Lisa, you're up.
Good morning, or good evening, commissioners. I think the applicant did a really good job with the whats and the whys and the hows. We don't really have very much more to offer because we don't know what would be going on the property at this time. But I'm here for questions, answer questions if you have any.
Any questions for staff? Commissioner Marchant?
Sorry. Is there anything that we can do, or is there anywhere in our code that requires any buildings along Redwood to be pulled forward next, like closer to Redwood so that parking is behind the building, just so it's more visually appealing? Yeah, so then when they do this remodel, it'll be under that code. Well, not remodel, demolition and rebuild. It'll be under that code and it'll be closer to Redwood.
It really would depend on the use and,
The planning commission will have an opportunity to review this when the site plan does come to the staff. So yes, but there is a provision in the ordinance that requires parking to be behind the buildings. So yeah, to answer your question.
And perhaps to add to that, and for the benefit of the people that live in the neighborhood, if this were to be rezoned and they were able to move ahead and redesign the site, there will be another public hearing with a very specific design, architecture, all of that would be discussed at that future meeting. This is only a potential option. A lot of the drive-throughs in our SC2 districts also require a conditional use permit, which is a public hearing. So noticing would go out again for that type of use.
Thank you. Any other questions for staff? Commissioner Shelton?
I read an email from a concerned citizen about rezoning of the property, and they brought up a ordinance that, just to paraphrase, I don't have it in front of me, suggested that a parcel this size cannot be rezoned and they quoted an ordinance. Can anyone address that?
The SC2 zone can actually be added to the SC2 zone across the street.
I see,
So
thank you.
that would make the minimum size.
It just can't be a standalone, correct?
Correct.
That's what I thought. And again, whatever is being proposed will have to come back before us so we can address all of those issues again. Okay. Any other questions for staff? Okay, this is a public hearing, so if you are here to speak on this item, you can come up to the lectern. You'll be given 3 minutes. Please state your name. The right button. There you go.
Good?
Yeah.
Okay, name Brennan Nash. So I'm actually glad that you guys brought up the rest of the zoning and trying to add this to it. So the rest of the zoning along Redwood Road right here has become overrun with homeless and a lot of undesirables over the last number of years. We live specifically about a house away from this property and have to call constantly already on a lot of homeless people and people that appear to be under the influences of narcotics and other issues. Our daughter has had to walk, down Redwood Road consistently to school, along with many other children. And the rest of this zoning that's here with these people in it don't connect to a neighborhood the same way that this does. This is right on the same road as the neighborhood. And also the school bus pickup is right in front of our house. So if you're bringing in a whole another group of people that we have no idea what this is going to be used for and who's going to be congregating at this establishment, I don't think it's a safe environment to have right in front of a school bus pickup.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Anybody else here to speak on this? Anybody on Zoom? If you are here, just raise your hand. Okay, we're going to go ahead and close the public hearing and bring it up to the commission for comment and or motions. Commissioner Marchant?
I have another question. Is this located in an RDA? Is there any plans, because Target has since moved out of that building, is there any plans for the redevelopment of this area?
My recollection is the RDA is on the west side of Redwood Road, not on the east side.
Okay, do we have anybody want to make a motion?
You don't happen to have the motion available on here, do you? Otherwise, I've got it. But, awesome.
Commissioner Allen?
I completely understand concerns about safety, aesthetics, everything else associated with that. I look forward to the opportunity to have that conversation when we have a site plan, when there's more in place. As far as the zoning itself, it matches. It fits in with SC2 to the south, across the street to the west. I'm really excited about not having a vacant building there and having something potentially available to go in. So if there is no more discussion, I'd be happy to make this recommendation that's on the screen. Based on the analysis and findings contained in the staff report, upon the evidence and explanations received today, I move that the Planning Commission forward a positive recommendation to the City Council to amend the future land use map from professional office, community commercial, and rezone 1.29 acres from PO to SC2, located at approximately 1517 West, 8600 South. Where am I at?
I'm sorry, that is the wrong address. That is
Yeah, it is.
6761 South, Redwood
Okay.
Road.
But she said,
The correct address.
Okay, do you want to, or do you want me to just go ahead and keep the address?
Yeah, can we just amend that to the actual address? What is it?
67.
South Redwood Road.
Okay. Commissioner Quinney?
second, as amended.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we have 5 yeas and 1 nay. and that's Commissioner Shelton. Okay, passes.
And for the benefit of the public, the planning commission's only a recommending body. The city council will hear this in an upcoming meeting, so you should get another notice for a city council meeting, so.
Yeah, this does have to go before the city council. We're just a recommending body. So you will have one more shot at that for the rezone. And again, when they actually have a better plan, it'll actually come before the planning commission again.
Any reasoning that you guys would be in favor of this?
We've already stated our comments, so.
There was no comment. He said that there would be an empty vacant building, which is not necessarily true at all. There's more commercial buildings and tenants that be in this.
I'd just remind the planning commission that per your rules, that unless you suspend the rules, there's no further discussion on the topic at this
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, you can address the city council.
Will do.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to adjourn? That's it?
That's it.
Unless you want something else.
No, I just thought there was something else. I moved to adjourn.
Okay.
I was confusing it with the DRC packet. That's probably why.
All right. We are adjourned. Thank you. Yeah, so I got in.